I really thought it was going to be something that, like all my other short films, I just put on the shelf and, oh, that was good. That was a good experience to stick it there. And I remember going to the film unit to do the final grade and all that stuff. And then the day we finished, the day we got it in our hands, we took it to the Wellington Fringe Festival and played it for the audience. And it wasn't finished when we entered it. And it was just like, oh, here we go. And I was like, in a festival already, it's amazing, and I had never been really in a festival. And I just, after seeing the quality of films that are there, which were good, but just like Playing Possum was just like epic and massive. And it just blew me away. And I was like, this is what it's about. This is what I'm meant to be doing. That was really fun to see. But yeah, I stepped in as setup director, which didn't even know what that was. I didn't know how to prep anything. I didn't know how to do anything in TV, and never used Steadicam or anything like that, in which the whole show is based on Steadicam. So it was really learning on my feet. That just taught me everything. I think the producers seemed to hide how stressed they must have been in terms of how over schedule we were going and how over budget we were going and stuff like that. But I think because of that naivety from both me and Vanessa and Zane, the other creators, I think that's what made the show so unique and interesting, because we just had no protocol, nothing. We just didn't know what we were doing, It kind of made it special. It took a long time to pull together, because I was after quite a special look, I guess, a specific look of where the location was. And then when I finally found Ngawi, which was the location we finally used, and it all came together after that. So it took about 8 or 9 months, and I think the consortium that had funded us were getting a bit nervous that we were never going to make it. But then it all sort of came together then, and we had Ginny Lone who shot it, who was amazing and really brought her vision to it. At the time, and I don't know how it would have worked, but I was really keen to shoot, because she wanted to shoot on 35, and I was like, I don't know. I was like, do we have to? And I was really keen to shoot on a video, just really shitty video, just to and see a comparison and see what kind of how that style would it look different, would it look better and more interesting and more immediate. And we never did that because we never have time. But I'm still, there's a little bit of regret that I never pushed that harder. I don't know. I mean, I really love how beautiful it is, but I regret how beautiful it is at the same time, if that makes sense. It was amazing to be there, but it was very tricky to step into a 4th season where everyone knew what they were doing. They were very set in their ways a little bit, and also the way that show was shot. It didn't leave much room for a director to sort of have a kind of vision or a voice. I was happy with what I did in Outrageous Fortune. I did a couple of blocks, but it was very hard. It was very, because I think it was just much harder than Being Eve, because Being Eve was just sort of joy from start to finish, even though it was painful at times, but even the pain was the joy. But I think Outrageous Fortune was just adult concepts, adult drama, exactly what I wanted to do, but just, that's hard. That's hard stuff, yeah. The budget was based on Outrageous Fortune, where everything's in a studio and everything's set up, and, so that was very, very low compared to what, I don't think there was a vehicle budget, for example, and we had vehicles and it was set in the future, so. And there was like 7 visual effects budgeted for every episode, and we ended up doing like 170 per episode. So it was, so things had to shift around a little bit to make it work. But yeah, I was very proud of that. I'm really proud of This Is Not My Life, and I think it's a great shame that it never went further, because there was a great idea floating around for season 2, and but I think this is kind of the problem a little bit with New Zealand. In terms of the funding, how funding works, because I think it was basically down. I mean, it didn't rate very well, which didn't help get the money. But it was between Nothing Trivial and This Is Not My Life, from memory, and it was either Nothing Trivial gets the 2nd series, or doesn't, or This Is Not My Life gets the 2nd series, and which is a shame because over here they would just do both. You know, over there it was just one. You could do one, and because it didn't rate very well, that was it. Our relationship was kind of new. We thought it's probably better to hide it a little bit, and so not to make the crew uncomfortable or feel like there's any, you know, that I'm treating her specially or anything like that. We just didn't want anyone to talk about anything. But I think maybe we went too far with that, and because I didn't even really tell Shane that she was my girlfriend. And so, because usually in sex scenes, because they're very tricky and weird things to film, you usually end up looking after the girl more than the guy because they've got more to show in a way. And so you usually spend a lot more energy making sure they feel all right and all that stuff. And with the guy's usually, yeah, I'm fine. But in this case, I probably should have spent more time with Shane because I think he was very, very uncomfortable with that he, you know, that he was having a sex scene in front of me. Which, you know, it's very tame, you know, compared to, you know, it's nothing trivial. Sex is nothing special. But yeah, no, it was pretty weird for Morgana, I think, because I think she mentioned that she said that it was her first fast turnaround television, and fast turnaround TV sex is very different too because you have no time; it's just very fast. Yeah, so I think she found it very challenging. Yeah, I don't know. I think I just went numb or something. I don't know what happened to me. I can barely remember. I just remember it being funny in retrospect. Yeah, so that was the first show I did in Australia. And it was just tricky getting a job here initially because no one trusted me. You know, I had no Australian credits, and Outrageous Fortune meant a little bit over here, but not really. They could see that I had a body of work, but no one was willing to sort of give me a go. And I met the producer and we had a great rapport. And then when he had that show, he invited me along, which was really lucky because from that everything started to fall into place. So. And that was that again was a show that was sort of in shambles a little bit when I got to it, and it was really interesting because I was looking at, I think because I came in quite late on that as well, I was second to last block or something, so I was looking at all these different episodes thinking how is all this fitting together. I feel like many different shows, so it was about trying to hone in exactly what they were looking for and what I was interested in. But it was amazing, you know. I mean, before the show, I didn't know who Sean McAuliffe was, and he's like one of the, you know, top comedian actors in the country, and so everyone else is sort of like falling about, kind of admiring him, and I don't know who you are. So that kind of gave me a bit of an advantage, I think, because I wasn't scared of, you know, of his fame. Yeah, so that was interesting, and I had a good time on that. I don't know, the show's not that successful, and only did the one season, but it. Definitely sort of opened the doors for me here. I was a big fan of the show in season one, and then I sort of lost track of it until I got the job, and then I was like watched them heavily, and I just became such a fan. And I think it's the first time I've ever had it where after I watched them all, and then when I started work, and I went to visit the locations that we were going to shoot in. And I went to her house, and I was like, "Oh man, it's like I've totally been here," you know. And I was like this fanboy which was fun. And it was great to work with that cast and that team because that was season 4 as well. But it was, and I was worried that it was going to be like Outrageous Fortune, where people were a little bit darker on it and didn't want to be there. But it was the opposite. It felt like it was a brand new series and, you know, brand new show, and it felt like everyone was up and very inviting, and I had such a great time on Offspring. It was so good. I love the story. In fact, it was funny because it's kind of a mystery, a thriller mystery, where you're trying to who done it, and I didn't. When I was delivered the script, so they left the last half of episode 6 out, so no one knew who did it. And I got to day one of pre-production. I was like, "So where's the rest of the script now? Because I really want to. I need to know." And they're like, "Do you know? Do you need to read it?" I was like, "I think I need to read that." And it was just blew me away. The the twist and the reveal at the end, and so yeah, it was. I just love any show that everyone really cares about it, because it becomes something very, very special then, I think, where from every department, they just work their asses off to make it as good as they can, and rather than just another episode. Because there was only 6, it really had a finite kind of energy about it, and we just put a lot of energy into it.